everyone, I'm Author Sandra Wilson, and this is the Kindness Kangaroo Library. And I'm on screen today to tell you a little bit more about the Kindness Kangaroo Project, how it started, and where it is today. A few years ago, I was in a store and I witnessed a man who thought he should be getting a discount for his purchases, but his purchases didn't qualify, and he was rather upset. And the more they said he couldn't have the discount, the more angry he got and the louder his voice got, and everybody around was getting more and more uncomfortable. I realized that I had a coupon in my purse that I wasn't using, so I gave it to him so he could get some sort of discount. Immediately, he calmed down, his voice lowered, and everybody else started to feel comfortable again. He thanked me for my kindness, and we both went our separate ways. But on the way home, I was thinking that pulling something out of my purse to give in kindness could be like a kangaroo having something in her pouch to give in kindness. And the idea for the book Kindness Kangaroo came to mind. Well, once the idea came into mind, I started getting ideas of what kindness meant to me. But then I wondered, what does kindness mean to children? As obviously they wouldn't have a coupon in their purse that they would hand out in kindness. So I visited a kindergarten class and we talked all about kindness and things we would do to show kindness. And I used their ideas to create the story Kindness Kangaroo. Then I sent the story back to the class and they gave me their drawings so I could illustrate the book. Well, by then there was lots of other animals running around in my head, and I started to form the Emotional Animal Alphabet series. So for every letter of the alphabet, I went into a classroom and we talked about a certain emotion and we connected it to an animal character, like anxious alligator. So I went into this classroom and we talked about feeling anxious, what makes us feel anxious, and what might make us feel better. And we took all the ideas, I put them in a story, and then the kids took the story and put their drawings in to illustrate the book. So this happened time and time again as we talked about Bravo Bear, which was about standing ovations and encouraging each other. Courageous Caterpillar, where we talked about fears. Determined Dog, where we talked about struggling in school and with learning issues and how maybe we could help fix some of those problems. Empathy Elephant, where we talked about what it is to feel empathy and how we can show that. Fabulous Flamingo, that talks about being yourself no matter how silly you might be. Grateful Giraffe, which we talked about loving ourselves and what that means. Hopeful Hippo, where we talked about having hope even when maybe you're sick in bed and your friends are all out doing something fun. Impatient Iguana, we talked about how hard it is to wait for something exciting to happen. Jealous Jaguar, we talked about being too small to do the things that our friends are doing and how that makes us feel when what things might help us feel better. Of course, Kindness Kangaroo, which was the first one. Lovable Lion talks about all sorts of ways that we can show love. Messy Monkey talks about a monkey that has a muscle disorder and is a little clumsy and how his friends react to that. Nervous Newt, kind of like Anxious Alligator, but another way of feeling nervous, doing something you've never done before, how that makes you feel, and what maybe ideas are to help you feel better. Optimistic Octopus, which is staying positive even in the weirdest situations. Pleasant Penguin, which means, being happy with yourself and friends helping each other. Question Quetzal, which is about talking, asking questions rather than making assumptions and shouting out rude comments. Reckless Raccoon, which covered safety. Sensitive Sea Lion, which talked about being a little uncomfortable with different feelings and things that you touch. Timid Turtle, who was shy and hid in his shell because he had tics and he didn't want to be embarrassed. Unique Uriel was adopted, so he wasn't like all the others, and that sometimes made him feel different, but then his friends and him learned that different is also a good thing. Victorious Vole talks about sportsmanship. Whiny Walrus, we talked about different ways we can learn to communicate that isn't just about a whine. Excited Xerus has come from a different country and finds everything so new and exciting, but also a little scary. Yakety Yak has a stutter, except when he yodels, which he loves to do everywhere. And Zany Zebra doesn't mind wearing all sorts of strange clothes, but isn't very keen on eating certain foods. And then they realize the zebra is actually colorblind. And so this talks about what they do to make Zany feel just like everybody else. So the idea is then I created this whole emotional animal alphabet series, which became books in social emotional learning. So not only did these kids help me create these ideas and the content of these stories and give me situations that they could then relate to, the kids that are now reading the books can also relate to those situations, and it gets them talking about their emotions. It gets them talking about remembering when they had that experience, when they felt that way. And it's a perfect way to get them to understand themselves, their own emotions, but also how others might feel if they're in that situation, especially if they haven't had that situation themselves. So the Kindness Kangaroo Project started with one idea. Kindness Kangaroo book became a whole series of books in social emotional learning. From there, we went on to the Super Kids Save the World, and that book series is all about environmental awareness. And then we started the Unpleasant Pirate series, which is about bullying situations. We didn't get all those books done in those series yet, so they're still open and we can still write some more of those. But then we started even another series, the Robot Rule series, which talks about problem solving and being prepared and learning what you need to have to do in order to fix certain situations. So we've been having fun visiting classrooms, having conversations, telling stories, and writing books. And that's a lot of what the Kindness Kangaroo Project is about. Of course, we're developing further into more literacy projects and other ideas, but that's how it started, and that's where we are with that part of it right now. I hope you enjoyed this little look back at the Kindness Kangaroo Project, and make sure to check the link below where you can find all of these animal alphabet books to get some for yourself. All right, everybody, bye now.